friends! Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Laura. I'm a brand designer based in Ireland. If this is not your first time here, thanks for joining me again as I ramble about the world of design. In this video, I will become quite candid and share some of the biggest mistakes I made as a new designer starting out. I hope this video will serve as a way for other designers to maybe avoid these mistakes in their journey, and maybe to companies to be better people and not put designers in these situations. Just a little disclaimer, I've been a designer of various forms for over 5 years. And these were what I consider to be my lowest points, that don't necessarily reflect what others would call bad. Nor is this an exhaustive list of mistakes or things that could go wrong or things that you should or shouldn't do. I wanted to keep this video short and concise to my worst experiences. There are many more things that can happen. Also, there are a lot of issues that arise with contracts, for example. I'm going to avoid talking about them in this video because legal advice varies from country to country. With all that being said, let's jump into the video. First biggest mistake I made was designing for friends. Early on in my design career, some of my friends caught on that I was beginning my freelance career and they wanted designs doing. I use the term friends extremely loosely because friends don't take advantage of friends are willing to pay for your services. One of the first instances of this happening was a friend of mine wanting a design done for his YouTube channel. Because they were a friend and at the time I was a little bit of a people pleaser, I did it. I felt obligated to do this. I did a great design and they used it. I didn't receive any recognition for my work and they didn't speak to me again until they wanted another design. How I handled it wasn't the best, and being a bit of a people pleaser, especially in the world of design, is not really going to get you anywhere. I wish I could have handled things differently, but I didn't. End of the day. I treated my designs very early on as a favour to friends rather than treating my friends as clients, which is what I should have done, rather than a career and a source of income, which is what I do now and what I should have done early on. I cannot stress that enough. I treated my friends as friends rather than clients. Now, if a friend wants a design, I treat them as clients. I actually have a regular client who is a very good friend of mine, and it works really well. We keep all business related talks to emails and all private related talks to DMs and Messenger. This is exactly how it should be. Under no circumstance am I telling you not to work for friends. I'm just telling you to treat them as clients and separate business from friendship. If they're not willing to pay your rate, it's not up to you to tailor your services to their budget just because they're friends and family. Chances are they might not be choosing you because they like your designs, maybe even need the designs. They're choosing you because they know you and you're convenient in a lot of the cases, which is incredibly sad. Lay out ground rules like you would with any other client and work with them just like you would any other client. The second mistake is kind of linked to the first one, and it's doing designs for free. I do not care what stage in your design career you are, never design for free. This is why passion projects exist. I'll do an extended video on this point because there is so much I can say about it. So this is a reminder to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're interested in a video expanding on this point in the future. If someone approaches you to design something and they don't have the budget to pay you, it can mean a couple of things. They don't understand the value that your design is going to give them. They don't understand the value of your design, and they don't understand the value that it's going to give them. Designing for free also means giving away your time for free. Time you could be spent doing something you love, working on a project you love, or just being around people that you love. Time is absolutely invaluable. I had several instances in the very early beginnings of my freelance career. One in particular sticks out in my mind, and it was I was working with an influencer couple who wanted designs for their YouTube channel. They had no budget and they promised to pay in exposure. Red flag. I took the job ashamedly, but you absolutely should not. Exposure, major red flag. I never got the exposure, I never got any pay, and I don't actually even think I got a thank you. In short, your time is the most valuable commodity that you have. Never give it away. If you're approached by a client that doesn't have the budget to pay you or doesn't plan on paying you, run. Especially if they are an already established company or person. Chances are they have the budget, but they just don't think that you're worth it. The third mistake I made is not knowing my pricing. When I first started out as a designer, I would take any and all work that I could get to build up that coveted portfolio that everyone talks about so much. I would do logos wherever I could for whoever I could. When I first started out, I was charging a grand total of, drumroll please, 40 euros. Yeah, 40 euros for a logo. I'm ashamed to say that now. I wish I could just grab my younger self and be like, no, you're worth a lot more than this. I would spend upwards of a week of my spare time, because I wasn't doing this full time or anything. I would just do it in my spare time. I would spend a week, sometimes upwards of a week, designing this logo, putting my heart and soul into it, only to be compensated 40 euros. I was on a one-way track to burnout and starting to really hate the career path that I'd chosen for myself. I had to sit down and figure out where I was going wrong, because I didn't want to give up. It was in this process that I realized I was charging 2 euros an hour. Who works for that kind of money? No one should work for that kind of money. I didn't want to work for that kind of money. I couldn't afford to work for that kind of money. So from there, I was able to work out exactly how much I needed to make and how much I needed to charge. There's a lot that goes into pricing yourself as a designer, so I'll make a full video again down the line somewhere. If you want to see it, let me know. But basically, I raised my prices and the joy started to come back into designing. Why can't I say that word? Because I was getting properly compensated. I'm not gonna lie, it did take me a little while to build back up that client base, but now these are more valuable clients. They're clients that I really enjoy working with. The next mistake is doing trial designs. Trial designs are where a company approaches a designer and asks them to create some designs as a trial, usually unpaid. I have a little story about this one from my days in Upwork. I'd been on a project to become the social media content creator for a dentist's office somewhere in the United States. I really wanted the project, and at the time the payout was really good. I think probably one of the projects that I'd probably earned the most, would is the key word, would have earned the most on. The client messaged me back within a day or two and said they really liked my portfolio and would I be interested in doing a trial design, and if I was successful I would win the job. Young me with stars in her eyes jumped at the opportunity to impress the client. They gave me 4 topics to create designs on. I created them and I sent them on. Those designs, probably some of my best designs at the time. I wish I didn't delete them out of spite because they were so good, and they ghosted me. I followed up with the client several times asking for feedback, what I could do better, did I get the job, whether I was accepted or not, and I got nothing. I don't know what they did with my designs, but I never heard from them again. Unfortunately, my story's not unique. I've heard that so many other designers have had their work stolen this way, or sent to a cheaper designer, or just straight up used and plastered all over everywhere as if they paid for that design, which they didn't. With that being said, I haven't been asked to do a trial design in years, which is great because I will not do them. But I do find that if a client wants a trial design, it's usually for 1 or 2 reasons. They're trying to scam you, or they're looking for you to impress them. If a client wants you to impress them, there are far better ways to do it, such as an absolutely stellar proposal that they literally can't refuse. Know your worth, and if something seems fishy, it usually is. Another mistake is giving unlimited revisions. This is, very ashamedly again, a mistake I was making up until about a year to a year and a half ago. Up until that point, I wouldn't include any stipulations about revisions. Up until I had a client that wanted upwards of 15 revisions on one logo. They weren't massive revisions, but they did drag out what would have been a 2-week project into 5 weeks. I ended up hating the design, and I don't actually think the client ever used that design. It was a cheap 40 euro logo design, as I said previously, when I didn't know my pricing. So I had given away basically 3 weeks of work for free. Giving a limit on revisions really makes the client think about what they want and why they want it. Since they only get so many revisions, they obviously won't want to pay more, which will make them really sit down and evaluate what they want and why they want it. So rather than sending an email, can you curve this letter a little bit just so we can see how it will look? They will think again if it's actually what they want. With that being said, if I do find that a client is asking for quite a few revisions, it's time to take a step back, maybe jump on a call and kind of reevaluate the project, because there seems to be a disconnect between what I'm creating and what they're looking for. So the limit on revisions is actually really handy, as it helps raise any red flags. Maybe the scope of the project has changed. Maybe there's a key point that got missed somewhere along the way. Maybe there's a new employee who's suddenly come in on the project and there's conflicting interests. There's a whole host of reasons why clients may want revisions. Revisions are healthy. 15 revisions are not. Bonus mistakes. These are mistakes I haven't personally made, but I hear they are rife in the graphic design community. Not charging deposits. Deposits are to protect you if something goes wrong. It ensures you still get paid. If a client pulls out or suddenly has no money to pay you, you still get some payment. Usually this is around 40 to 50%. Sending the raw files before the final invoice is paid. I cannot stress this enough. Do not do this. This is why mockups and low-res files are so important. Otherwise, clients can just use your designs without paying you. It has happened. Send the raw files once the client has paid in full. Not having a portfolio website. Stop. This is not where I tell you I'm sponsored by a website hosting company. You genuinely need a website. You need a website to showcase your best designs to your potential clients. Instagram is not the same. It's full of designers. You need a place that's just for you, where you can stand out and keep your potential clients' attention. Using freelance sites as your sole income. Freelance sites can be extremely beneficial as a new designer, but you should be looking to branch out on your own and sourcing your own clients. Not only do these freelance sites make you, the freelancer, pay for getting clients, but they're very often a race to the bottom. So what to take away from this video? Your time is absolutely invaluable. If you're a new designer starting out, it may seem like you're behind everyone else and you've so much catching up to do, so you charge less to get the clients. Don't undersell yourself. Make sure you're charging for your time. And that seems to be the theme of this video, whether it's trial project, revisions, or not charging at all. Know your worth. That's going to be it for this video. If you want to follow me on social media, here are my handles. If you want to check out my website, it's linked in the description box below. If you want to join my mailing list to get updates about freebies, new services, my monthly playlist, and other behind the scenes and exclusive stuff, the link is also down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and comment down below if you've ever made any of these mistakes. We're all in this together. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.